Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. We're going to talk about just a couple cards here. I think most people are aware of these endings, these auction endings. Some of these items ended yesterday. Crazy stuff, crazy numbers. So let's get started. I think most people probably saw this Cyberstein from Sassy Ottoman. We have not seen a Cyberstein come onto the market in quite some time. It's been a few months. I believe the last one was around 3-ish thousand raw, something like that. It's been a while, I don't remember. This copy is not mint. You see that? It's I think you'd consider that light play. I don't know what that is. It doesn't show up on the front of the card. I don't know if it's like a, like someone was writing on it and you got a pen indentation. But this card sold for $10,000. It was confirmed that this buyer did pay. The question becomes, are these legitimate bids? So really there are lots of people up to 5,000. Which is kind of crazy in itself, considering these were just a few $1,000s a couple months ago. I mean, this one is kind of suspect. But I mean, you've got really high-end accounts. I mean, it's 3,000 here, 1,700 here. But even up past 8,000, there's like 3 people bidding. So 9,000, you got 57, you got 39, and 125. So there were multiple people possibly willing to spend this kind of money on this card. It's nuts. The thing what he did as well is whoever won this item increased their max bid. So they were willing to spend even more than $10,000, $10,250 for a light play copy of Cyberstein. Not even graded. This thing in PSA would get like a 6, maybe lower because of that crease. Creases automatically bring cards down to 6s. The rest of the card looks really nice. So maybe it just gets a 6 and you can move on with your day. But man, it's wild. This number is wild. Nobody expected this. I'm not really sure what happened. Maybe the buyer has been waiting for a few months, and as soon as one came up, he decided he was going to win it at any cost, and he wound up paying a ridiculous amount of money. So to continue to talk about Cyberstein, PWCC, obviously everybody knows who they are. They're an auction house. Their goal is to try to create a liquid marketplace for collectibles, trading cards, sports cards, Pokemon cards. They have these auctions every month, and they kind of tell you ahead of time what's going to be auctioned off. So occasionally people are able to prepare. But this was a very, very nice copy of Cyberstein. I don't really see how that's 10 centering. I mean, left to right is very clearly that's off. But it got a 10 centering anyways. Really nice copy of Cyberstein. Pristine 10. It's been a while, a long, long time since one of these has shown up on the market. $18,000. It's really hard to judge how much pristine 10s will go for. From what I've seen, it looks like they go generally double of what a PSA 10 goes for. I don't know what a PSA 10 goes for nowadays. I think before they were like $5,000. We also don't know if this was paid for. But again, we're sitting here and we're looking. These are not like brand new accounts bidding on this stuff. I mean, 208, 627, 382. These are legitimate accounts paying over $13,000 for this card. That's nuts. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 people willing to spend above, I guess above 10 grand. Yeah, above 10 grand, and it just people fight it out, and it's crazy. It really is. Again, it's a beautiful copy. Don't ask me about what I think the price should be. It's a pristine 10. It's a prize card. It's probably one of the more favorited prize cards out there. Certainly the more popular. I mean, Crush Card and those cards are really cool, but there's just so few out there. I think most people aren't even really aware of them. Like this Des Volskov, that's a really cool prize card as well. So $18,000. Man, it's insane how Yu-Gi-Oh has how this has changed. I mean, that is a life-changing amount of money to really most of the population. I mean, that's close to a down payment on a house if you want to get 20%. I mean, that's a new car. That's going back to school. It's insane, these numbers. Congratulations to whoever sold this. I'm sure they're happy with that amount of money. Really, every time I look at these prices, it seems like we're hitting higher and higher. I mean, you see it with Pokemon, but with Yu-Gi-Oh, it just seems, I don't know. It's crazy. It really is making the hobby very, very expensive to collect anything. So that's Cyberstein. Curious to see what happens next. Like, if there was one listed tomorrow, it would not go for this amount. Part of why these cards go for this crazy number is because there's been such a large drought. You know, it kind of creates that somewhat illusion of scarcity. I mean, obviously these things are not common, but you know, a couple months ago, maybe last year, these things were on the market like every other week. There was one being sold. Now that's not the case. Now people have bought them and they're sitting in collections. So that drought kind of creates, I don't really want to call it artificial. It's like pseudo-artificial scarcity for some of this stuff. Next we've got, oh man, a big one. Blue Eyes. I know you see this number, 5 figures, right? Blue Eyes White Dragon, PSA 10 gem mint. Again, 10 grand. Don't know if this was a confirmed sale. Again, I mean, these accounts, these don't look like brand new fake accounts. It could, of course, be fake bidding. Just because it's not a new account doesn't mean the person is not going to pay. This person may very well not pay. I mean, this card was going for, how much was this previously? I'm sorry, I don't remember. I didn't really keep track of what this was previously. 3 grand or 4 grand? I think that might be around what the last sold price publicly is. 3 to 4 grand, and you're at 11 now? I mean, what? Literally a month and a half ago, there were several BGS 9.5s for sale that were no one bought at like 2,500. Just saying. So let's look at this condition. It's a new cert. That's nice. 469. That bottom corner is a little bit suspect. It looks like it's a little bit crushed, but it's hard to tell from the pictures. It looks a little bit squared off, but gosh, 10 grand, almost $11,000. PSA 10 Blue Eyes. Setting new records basically every time the thing gets sold. I mean, it's not like it's even increased just a few $100s. It's multiplied by like 2 or 3 since it last sold. Something I wanted to talk about this card in particular is the starter decks. One sold 8 days ago for less than $3,000. Now I understand if you know anything about these decks, because the Blue Eyes is the front cover card, oftentimes, more often than not, the Blue Eyes is damaged. So it's a really big gamble for you to buy a deck and open it. But if you did, boy, did you just make bank. If you manage to open this deck up, let's say you bought this, you graded it, it got a 10, you spent $2,500 on it, you just 4x your money in no time. But again, it's a risk, and I'm wondering if any of these guys here cracked the box. But I'll be honest with you, if I had this box, I would probably crack it. Even as a PSA 9, you can get pretty close to that number. PSA 9, I think you can get you can probably get 13 to 15 if you waited, and you can probably get close to 2 if you even waited longer than that, especially with a new cert. So that's questionable. why this is selling for almost 11,000 when you can buy literally all 3 of these decks and probably get one that's PSA 10 quality and come out ahead. You can buy all 4 of these decks, in fact. Crazy. Really, really crazy. Lastly, we're going to talk about the DDS. Oh my lord, another pristine card. I was honestly surprised. When you look at this card and you say 10.6, right? And then you come here and you look at a pristine 10, which is a whole nother level above PSA 10. I mean, there's no question that pristine 10s are a higher quality card than a PSA 10. No question, right? This only sold for $3,000 more. And I know I say only $3,000, but you would think that this card would bring a higher premium than this. For the longest time, these 2 cards have been kind of like fighting to see which one's more valuable. They were pretty much neck and neck around 3,000, 3,500 for a long time. It's hard to kind of predict what PSA or what BGS 10s will sell for. The general thought that I had was that it'd be roughly double. Now I understand it's Blue Eyes, right? Blue Eyes is its own type of beast. You know, a regular card might sell for double in Beckett 10, double of a PSA 10 that is. But because this is Blue Eyes, it brings a premium. Now PSA 10, let's see. These are all offers. Unfortunately, eBay has started to block offers, so you can't see. I don't know. Let's just say it's $4,000, right? Hard to say. This one's 51, clearly less than that. Let's say like 45. Let's say it's 45. So double 45 will give you 9. And then maybe you plop on another 4.5K premium because it's a pristine 10. Maybe this is where it is. I actually honestly didn't know these things were already this price. These things were $3,000 not that long ago. It says mint likely a PSA 10. Are there any on the market for sale? Thing is, these things, wow, really? Great. These things are pretty high pop. There's quite a lot of PSA 10 DDS Blue Eyes, but there are like 3 pristine 10s. Now, honestly, based on what I've seen here, what I've seen this card go for, what I've seen the PSA 10s are going for, I honestly think this is a little bit cheap for a pristine 10. Now, I think whoever bought this is going to do well in the long run. I mean, this is like the second most desired Blue Eyes out there, I believe. It's just crazy to see these prices. I don't really know what else to say besides, man, I hope if you like this card and if you like graded cards in particular, I hope you're buying up what you need quickly, because the market is moving in such a way that is pricing, certainly me, I'm being priced out, and many others I'm sure as well. It's really insane, and we're left with, like, look, there are 4 people willing to spend over $10,000 for this. Like 5 people at 90. Like, really a life-changing amount of money. Hopefully, you know, I'm sure. I don't know if this was me and I sold this for 13.6. I mean, I'd be happy, but at the same time, I feel like it should have gone for a little bit more. Maybe it wasn't the right time. Maybe it's too soon. You know, if you sold this in a year or 2 from now, I'm sure you'd get some crazy money for it. But yeah, guys, that's all I had. Hope you enjoyed the video. Crazy what's going on nowadays. See you next time.